TheorySabers.com.
Damn, so it looks like the REY movie is on hold. Couldn't say I didn't expect this, but I did. It looks like the wait for REY's return will have to wait a bit longer. So it was already supposed to come out in 2026 next year. They changed that. They delayed it to, I think, 2027. And it looks like, once again, it is delayed. So whether it's Disney waking up and realizing that they destroyed this character, unfortunately, for us and for Daisy Ridley, or it's them just not being able to properly land on the story that Kathleen Kennedy wants, since she is really running this whole movie, as she has said. Where is this information coming from? Well, according to Entertainment Insider, Daniel Richtman, on his Patreon, the upcoming film about Star Wars heroine, which was announced in 2023, is being shelved. The good news is Richmond says that the movie is not canceled, but rather temporarily on hold. The reason behind this delay, Richtman adds, is so Lucasfilm can prioritize other movies including Star Wars Starfighter and James Mangold's film that has not yet been given a name. So the reason I think that this is happening, if this is true, I don't know who this Daniel is or anything on his Patreon or whatever. If this is true, and the reason is because they want to focus on some of the other stuff, it's because I think, and I hope, that Disney Lucasfilm, and I don't really call it Lucasfilm because it's not Lucasfilm, it's like Disney film at this point. It's not George Lucas Star Wars, and hasn't been since he left. And I've woken up and I've smelled the shit, unfortunately. I wish it was the other way, but, we'll see what happens maybe when Kathleen Kennedy steps down, and we'll get maybe some different command over there. Maybe someone who actually respects George and respects his stories and really knows what they're talking about. But until then, I don't really see it as Lucasfilm, at least not the Lucasfilm that I looked up to as a kid. So if they're really doing this, I believe that the reason for it is because they're starting to realize that they cannot take any more L's. How many times are they going to lose a chunk of the fandom with each crappy project? And they've noticed that each time they release something that's good, they gain a little bit more faith with the fandom. Of course, we were all really stricken after The Last Jedi, and then of course Mando Season 2 comes out, and Luke returns at some point a few years later. It brought a lot of us back, including myself. And then they brought out some other projects, and Book of Boba Fett really didn't hit. They brought out The Acolyte, as we know. It did not hit. Andor Season 1, which a lot of people liked. So it was a bit undulating with a lot of L's. And then Kenobi, the long-awaited Kenobi. And it was really unfortunate what they decided to do with that show and focus on Reva instead of Obi-Wan and change a whole bunch of stuff around and really not make it true to the actual characters that George wrote or the lore that we know and love.
You will not take it from me!
So from my point of view, my theory is that they're doing this, they're shelving it for a bit because they want to hit a few bangers and they want to make sure it's done right. So what I've noticed is things like Andor, for example, that don't have the Force, don't have lightsabers, don't have the characters that we know so well like the back of our hands, they seem to do okay with. So that's why they probably want to put a lot of their skills into Star Wars Starfighter, because they know that they probably will make an okay film or project. The same with James Mangold's film that has not been given a name, which is supposed to be the old, essentially the start of the Force, the start of the Jedi, the birth of the Force. We have comic books on that, Dawn of the Jedi, but we know they're going to take their own spin on this and whatever. So that one I'm a little bit more concerned about to see really what they do, because that's heavy, man. That's the start of the Force. And if they want to dive into the microorganisms of things such as the midichlorians, which is what George Lucas wanted to do with episode 7, 8, 9, they got to be careful, because I'm going to be definitely on their butt, making sure that they do it right. Because if it comes out and it's really not what it's supposed to be, and they're trying to push what they think the Force is, the origins of the Force are, best believe a lot of fans, including myself, are going to be extremely vocal about it. So
I will do what I must.
You will try.
This is just the latest disappointing update for the film, which has experienced multiple hiccups over the past few years. There's Daisy Ridley in front of the Rise of Skywalker premiere. In 2024, it was reported that the film's writer Stephen Knight left the project after submitting over 4 versions of his script, as they had received non-stop issues and notes from Lucasfilm higher-ups. That, of course, being Kathleen Kennedy, in my opinion. Knight was replacing the original writing duo of Damon Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson. The Charmin Obaid-Chinoy film, which featured REY, is not the first Star Wars movie to have been shelved over the years. While the uncertainty around the Rey film grows, we do know there are 2 other Star Wars movies to release in the next few years. Yeah, we got the Mando movie and the Ryan Gosling movie, which we don't know anything about. We just know that it's Ryan Gosling. I'm a Ryan Gosling fan. I like his acting. But besides that, I mean, that's not really qualifications for a Star Wars movie to be good. So it really depends on how they want to take that story. They could have CGI acting it. I don't really care as long as the story is good. So a good actor necessarily isn't going to portray a great film if the story's shit, right? So case in point, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which had some moments that were great because Obi-Wan and Anakin were in it. But, you know, my boys Hayden and Ewan, we love them, but the writing was not good, right? So it really depends on the writing at the end of the day. So that's the bad news for Rey fans, that this project is shelved again. And I truly believe that it is because of projects like The Acolyte, like the sequel trilogy that did not do well, and like all of the other projects that did not do well with Star Wars, that they're taking their time with this and making sure that they really make some bangers that are going to be good and unanimously loved amongst the fans, so that when the Rey movie does come out, which will be controversial, they will at least have some things behind them to say, okay, well, you know, those 2 ones were good. People will be in a different headspace. But right now, they know, I think, that Star Wars is in a very bad place. I mean, for God's sakes, nobody cares right now about Star Wars. No one cares. People care about wanting change in Star Wars, what's happening with the higher-ups, what's happening with the politics of Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Disney Film, what's happening over there. No one really cares about lore. No one cares about the story of what George built as much as they used to. It's been killed. They've destroyed it. And it's by creating division in the fandom. It's by creating a lot of uncertainty in the fandom, in their projects, and in their overall care for George Lucas and his movies and his characters. So once they get their heads on straight and they really start to focus on what George made this all about and take their egos out of it, I think we'll be, you know, on a right track. And still there will be so much work that needs to be done. But it can be done. I do believe that it can be fixed. So that's the news. Hope you all have a great day. TheorySabers.com. We're having a massive sale.
Massive, dude.
Something really cool that I've wanted to do for a while in a couple days here. So make sure you stay tuned to your emails for all of you, so many of you that are subscribed to the Theory Sabers newsletter. Appreciate you guys. We love you. The team loves you. And we can't wait to see you all in Denver, Colorado on the 3rd to the 6th. And then in Miami for SuperCon, Florida SuperCon on the 18th to the 20th. And then we'll see you in Chicago. What's the other place? Boston. Anyways, we love you guys. We'll catch you later. Have a great day. May the Force be with you.